What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, we've been covering this story ever since it broke, and it's the story of Kei'ManiLatigue, 13 years old, tragically lost her life, and she died in a brutal way out there in Toledo, Ohio. Shout out Toledo. And she died at the hands of this guy that's said to be her father. This guy's name is Darnell Jones. He's 33 years old. And like I said yesterday, with all the reporting we did and all the videos I did, news has came out that he was shot. He was found in Columbus, Ohio, where he fled. And he was shot by police during a situation out there. And supposedly he admitted to everything. Now, gruesome details have came out. You know, with the family saying it before, you know, to the media live on TV and stuff the police have said, this girl suffered and she shouldn't have had to. I said before, you should be in a position where you should feel safe around your parents, namely your father. You should feel protected. And to have this happen to her, and she's not the first child that's been wrongly done by a family member or the father. There's been many others. Some of the cases we're still, you know, waiting for updates on. But one thing's for sure, this girl was failed. And not just by the guy that's supposed to be a dad. I think other people have something to do with it. You know what I mean? Not the murder itself, but for somebody to be that open to where they feel as though this child was unprotected enough for them to pounce on her and do it the way they did her. Take a look at this video. Of course, this guy right here, Darnell Jones, is going to court today, and I'll be covering that from here, and we'll see what they say in court. But it's a lot of stuff going on, and I want to use this video today. I don't know these people. I'm going to say some stuff just from my opinion and what I'm thinking and what I've seen in the comment section, and I'm going to just give my honest assessment. This whole thing is one big mess. Look.
13 Action News starts now with breaking news.
It's very sad, because it could be my kid, my grandkids, or anybody else's kids.
Our community mourns. We continue to follow the breaking developments in the homicide of a 13-year-old Toledo girl.
Tragic, disturbing, horrific case, horrific crime. The father of Kei'ManiLatigue, charged with her murder, now in custody after being shot by Columbus police earlier today. An arrest warrant was issued for Darnell Jones yesterday when Toledo police found Kei'Mani's body in an abandoned home on Miami Street just days before she would have turned 14 years old.
Jones was initially charged with abduction after he allegedly gave inconsistent statements about Kei'Mani to authorities. Now he also faces murder and felonious assault charges. Police in Columbus found Jones today shooting him during a confrontation where he allegedly pulled a gun on officers. He's expected to be okay and faces additional charges in Franklin County.
I know they were looking for him. I worked the street yesterday, and there was a bolo put out yesterday about this, so it was on everybody's mind. The officers are circulating area, patrol detectives, they're looking for this individual. This is what SWAT does. You got not just a murderer, a violent murderer, a sadistic murderer.
Jones is expected to face a judge tomorrow.
And Kei'Mani's story, her senseless death, has already touched so many people here in Toledo and beyond. Community members organizing a vigil tonight. Many who were there had never met and didn't know Kei'Mani, but they tell us they wanted to come together to honor her life. 13 Action News reporter Lily Lowndes talking with those who paid their respects, including a former teacher of Kei'Mani's who provided some important information as well. Lily.
Yeah, Lee, everyone at the vigil was there mourning a life they say is gone too soon, outpouring love and support in memory of Kei'ManiLatigue. Again, most of those people mourning were strangers, but her former teacher was there and said she believes Kei'Mani's death was preventable.
On the count of three, can everybody shout out Kei'Mani? 1, 2, 3. Kei'Mani!
A crowd gathered at the abandoned house on Miami and Wilmot, chanting the name of a girl who will never be forgotten, 13-year-old Kei'ManiLatigue.
As my pastor would say, a family that prays together stays together. And this is the time when we need to come together.
Many of the mourners did not know Kei'Mani personally, but gathered flowers, balloons, and lit candles in her memory.
She was just a joy to be around. and she will be deeply missed.
Kayleen Harabidian was Kei'Mani's teacher last year.
She was very sweet. I enjoyed having her at school every day. She greeted me every single morning with a hug. That was all she truly ever wanted, was affection.
Harabidian said affection was something that Kei'Mani might have needed more of.
This feels preventable.
The teacher said she and other staff members called Children's Services to report concerning things Kei'Mani had said.
She came to school with visible injuries and told us some things that were happening in her household.
Harabidian said Kei'Mani was with a different guardian during that time. Still, she wishes something could have gone differently, as did many of the people at the vigil.
We need to tell our young folks whatever's going on at home, school, church, parks, you can talk to us.
Devastated about what happened to Kei'Mani, but letting her know she was heard and will not be forgotten. We did reach out to Children's Services, and they said nothing in this case is public record at this time. They also declined to give comment today. Kei'Mani's birthday is on Friday, and people are planning a celebration of her life. Lee.
All right, Lily, thank you. We're also learning more about just who Kei'Mani was, a 7th grader at Spring Elementary School here in Toledo. Spokesperson for TPS says she got along very well with others and was recently recognized at an honor roll assembly. We've also learned that she was going to receive a kindness award this week. District has had counselors and therapy dogs at the school to help students and employees cope with this unspeakable loss.
We've also learned that the house on Miami Street where Kei'Mani's body was found will be torn down. Toledo officials confirm once police have finished their investigation, the city will move forward with the process to demolish the property. A spokesperson says code compliance has finished boarding it up while also cleaning up trash and debris around the house.
Okay, that's the story. Like I said, may this young lady rest in peace. About to turn 14 on Friday. Now, I've been looking at a lot of news stories and it come up with a summary of what's going on and why I don't believe a lot of what I don't believe. Everybody got some shit with them. Let me just put it like that. And I'm going to go down the line with these people, right? And I don't know these people. I'm just going on what was put out there by them and what's put out there in the media. First thing is first. We'll go with this guy. Now, this guy, the reason why I keep saying if he's the father or not and all this other stuff, when I first broke this story, you seen the grandmother get on TV and the grandmother said, oh, well, I don't know if he's the father or not. I mean, I feel deceived. Is he the father? Is he not the father? I'm like, man, that's something you don't say on TV, especially when it comes to the death of a child. It takes away from, and it sets us a narrative of what type of household you had and why this girl, it makes people look bad. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you don't have to say stuff on TV. But anyway, this guy right here, they're saying he's the father. This guy was found. This is how they found him. He was wandering the streets at night in Columbus, Ohio. And the police came upon him and ID'd him. That's how he was found. Then he pulled the gun because he wouldn't surrender, and a SWAT team member shot him as they fenced off everything. That's how he got shot. Now, he going to court today, and we'll be keeping up with this story. But this guy right here is a monster. He is. You that close to somebody, and you do that to them? And the thing is, you know, I look at these crimes for what they are. It's an invasion of somebody's body, because supposedly she was R-worded. Both her hands were cut off, which I don't understand, and her throat was cut. That you do that to somebody you hate. And I want you to think about this. They had a relationship going as far as father and daughter. She believed in this man. She trusted him. She thought this is where she comes from, part of father. And he did that to her. God only knows what was going on in her head when all of this stuff was going on. And that's the part that's sick. And that's the part I can't get past. You was a child, trusted you. You gained the trust of a child only for your sick, selfish benefit to do what you did to her. So you think about that. They said she was home. This guy in another video, oh, she called me over the house because she said it was an intruder. She was scared to be there by herself. So me and my cousin came over there. So you had 2 men in the house, right? Now I'm gonna jump from him for a second. When the aunt was on TV yesterday doing an interview in one of my videos, she said, yeah, I came home and stuff was scattered around the house like it didn't belong there. So I called the school to talk to her, but she ain't answered. And like, that's when we found out she was missing. And that's when the search was on from last week, right? I want you to think of this. The grandma got on TV yesterday and she said a lot of stuff. And a lot of it I believe. But I'm going to go back to this one part when this first aired, and it was the mother on TV standing out there mad at the police because they won't bring her a picture or tell her that it's her daughter, even though she thinks she knows it's her daughter. Why would you want to see a picture of your child in a dead state like that? Then supposedly they brought something out and showed her a picture, and she fell to her knees and everybody ran around her, the typical stuff. Come to find out she wasn't even in Kei'Mani's life like that. And all this is out in the open. Wasn't even in her life. Since 8 months old, she was living with this guardian who was supposed to be the best friend of the grandmom. Then when about 5 years ago, she went from the best friend, who's the godmom, to the grandmom. And now she's dead. While she was with the grandmom supposedly got in trouble because Kei'Mani went to school and said she was being treated illy at home. And they investigated the grandmom about the way she was beating her and disciplining her. She said this on TV. And then they supposedly got her tested for a psychological evaluation, a little girl. And they found out nothing was wrong with her. She just was troubled. And it's the big thing about this. These children don't ask to be here, y'all. And it shows in this whole thing. One thing's for sure, you can see it. Regardless if anybody going to deny it or not. It was a bunch of instability in the upbringing of this child. And it was reflective on what she was at the time. Said she was getting in trouble in school for a while. Now she had a good, she found a school because she bounced from school to school. Instability. Then she's at a school where she really likes it. She was doing well. Her growth and development was increasing, which is a good thing. But man, I'm telling you, a lot of you guys are teachers out there that watch my stuff. You know, when you go and see kids acting crazy, acting out in school, you know something's wrong at home. But how do you intercede and say something? Especially against a lot of people that don't want it to be known that they ain't doing the right thing at home by their kids, by doing right by their kids. And that's the problem we got out here. A lot of these children, when you're born a child, man, you innocent. You have a clean slate. Whatever's written on your memorandum of how you think and act and all that stuff, it all depends on the culture and the upbringing and what type of household you in. And you're starting to see it. A lot of these kids out here running rampant, doing all kind of crazy stuff. This girl was turning her life around. You know what I'm saying? If anybody failed her, it was a mom. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't even there. I grew up, and by the grace of God, my grandparents, raised me. I had a grandfather. I had an example of what a man was, and he disciplined me, and I call him my dad. That's all I ever knew. But my thing is this. You have to have a balance and structure and attachment with your child, especially when they're younger. It seemed like to me, this chick was running the damn street doing her. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that's sad about this. It's sad. I would not have a child and leave it up to other people to raise said child while I run the street and act like I ain't got no kids. And that made me think, I was like, for her to say, I want to see the picture of my baby dead or whatever, not knowing what situation she was in, how she was found, and you just want to see this. I'm like, it's like a detachment, a little bit of a detachment. Like what? And this is just me thinking. I was like, okay, If you think that's your daughter, why do you want to see her like that? Why can't you wait for somebody else to ID it? Then she got mad. Oh, it don't take no time to go in there and take a picture and then bring it back out here to me. How is it about you when it's a dead body in there, whether it's your kid or not? What if they show you a dead person and it ain't your child? It's still an investigation. Now you then got information about a dead body that ain't none of your business. It's like people don't think. Then the grandmom get on TV and say, you know, she wasn't really in the child's life. I had her for the longest time. If you look between the lines, it's a rift between the mother and the grandmother outside of the situation with the child. They have differences. They don't get along. You can see it. The aunt, who's the other sister, I guess, I give her hella respect. She was respectful on camera. She said a couple of things, but they made sense. If anybody, I believe, is her. You know what I'm saying? She said, yeah, the mom, she called her, the mother of Kei'Mani called the sister, talking about she mad at her mom because the mom want to get her on child support because she raising a kid. Why the fuck not? That's normal shit. You see what I'm saying? And if anybody seemed like they was really hurt, it was the aunt that cared about her. Another thing is this. Did y'all peep this? And I'm going to say this and get out of here. Until he go to court, we'll pick that back up on this again. This is why you don't put your dirty laundry out there. Grandmom talked too much. Remember they said she was arrested? She wasn't. After they found the body, they said a mob went to her house. Like, we going to tear your house up. Why would people do that to you if you are the guardian of a victim of a violent crime? Why would people threaten you with violence? Something was going on that nobody else know about. It's a lot to this story. There's a lot of questions that probably will never get answered. But that's strange. That's like if my daughter died and all of a sudden I got a lynch mob at my house mad at me because my daughter died. Instead of consoling me, it's like almost immediately after she was found, people ran to this woman and had beef with her. Something's going on. And I'm going to leave it at that. Leave me a comment, man. What y'all think? I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Whether a small detail or a huge detail, more than one person failed this child. And that's the big thing I don't want to take away from this. This is a child that lost her life for nothing. For nothing. And she died horrible. And this is not the first case, nor is it the last. But I'm telling you, man, we really need to start being reflective about how we deal with children, what we show them, and how we act in front of them, and who we allow around them. That's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? May Kei'ManiLatigue rest in peace. And we'll talk about this when more details come out, which will probably be horrific. See you in the next video. Take care.